Years ago, I used to play keyboard for a ministry, one of the ministries that went to preach for Obasanjo when he was in prison. It was my keyboard pastor, small keyboard. I would carry it. The church, they came and opened a branch. It was a prison ministry that just started a church service. And I would go to our local assembly, and when I returned, their meeting was afternoon meeting. I would carry my keyboard and trek to a hotel that they were using, my own keyboard. I would trek to the hotel, set it up. You know all the things that happen in church. This one is frowning, this, and I would just mind my business and play and go back. Let me tell you the truth. You may have heard me say it in my teachings. Nobody ever told me thank you. I stand before the God of heaven. I never knew that one day I will have an apostolic call. But they were seeds. There were times that I would be so tired. You know how church sometimes, things can happen when you are doing your best and it looks like it's not. The only thing I remember was during one time they were launching the Man of God's cassette, and I got one cassette and one bottle of Fanta. One cassette free, I didn't pay for, and then one bottle of Fanta. That's the only thing I can remember getting. But I made up my mind that, Lord, if it is for your glory. I didn't know that heaven was recording it. Farmer, keep sowing. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. There is nobody who comes out of nowhere. Please bury that demonic mindset once and for all. Just because you don't know where they came out from does not mean they did not come. Look, let me tell you, there are laws. God cannot be mocked. God cannot trust you with the destinies of men. You can deceive men, but there are laws in the realm of the spirit. There is a strict immigration system. You don't bribe your way into certain realms of influence. You don't bribe your way into certain levels of honor, notoriety, and grace. There is a track record that God himself vets. So when you see your pastor today and what God is doing in his life, you see, when you see masters operate, the proof of mastery is ease. Usually the steps are beyond plain sight. People have so worked their system, they have mastered how it works. So you will be mistaken to think just because it's easy for them, it is easy. It is easy for masters, but not easy. Hallelujah. If I begin to tell you some of the things that we did spiritual, oh dear, this is not the night to discuss this, but let me just tell you the truth. If you sow to the flesh, you will reap of the flesh corruption. Apostle, but people have annoyed me. This is the year I said, me, I will not keep quiet. That's why God sent you here tonight. You have done well to sow nice seeds. You want the devil to deceive you now, to cancel everything, because you want to be yourself. The Bible does not tell us to be ourselves. It tells us to be like Christ. It's a risk being yourself. You better find out what is in yourself before you want to be it. It says we should be like Christ. Paul said, in this flesh there is nothing that is good within this flesh. He marked himself, and this was his assessment. I hope you understand the concepts of be yourself I'm not saying don't find expression. I just mean that the man of the flesh without the assistance of the spirit. I look back today and I thank God for the times of prayer with no reward. There was a time in my life, you would not believe this, where I would buy bread and put granite. You know how you put granite? Don't act like you don't know what I'm saying. Bread and put granite. Are we together? Yeah. With ginger. I think it's a healthy meal. No wonder we are still standing. are the one that we praise. You are the one we adore. You give the healing and grace that our hearts always hunger for. Hearts always hunger for. When we started ministry, sir, I remember the first crusade that we went for. We were going there by faith, just because God said to. While the crusade was going on, you know what it means to preach in a miracle service with bills waiting for you? The people you are owing are there while you are shouting Jesus the same yesterday, today, and forever. And to make matters worse, the sick now genuinely get healed. Who is that God that heals the sick? I remember when that crusade was over and everybody was returning, we didn't have the transport to return people, but it was a mighty meeting. Not so much. I don't think, maybe the entire crusade ground may not be more than the people who were seated here, but it was with honor and joy. What is there to be ashamed of? We were starting and with nobility. Yet that little thing would be a global ministry that will bless people. Who has laughed at you? Who has looked at you and despised your little beginning, and you are about to join them to kill that little beginning, not knowing that the whole world one day will rejoice at the investment of God's hand upon you? Let me tell you the truth, the pressure that I went through after that crusade, it would take a madman to do another one. And as soon as we went back, I didn't even rest. God said to do another one again by the next year. I said, God, what is this? I was looking for 150,000 naira to sort some of the people. I know you think it's little. Someone signed a check for me. I called the people to come and take it. When they came and went to the bank, the check bounced and they said, this time we're not coming alone. You know what that means? We're not coming alone. I didn't steal. I didn't kill. What was your offense? For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. Listen, it was at those times and within those processes that we saw certain things. My faith did not just develop from Bible study alone. Pain was a gift that stretched that faith. There are things that you go to where no matter how you cry, God answers your prayer by leaving you there. I know you don't like what I'm telling you now. There are times that you being left in that situation is an answer to your prayer. God is telling you, you are going to be healing nations, and now you are in a situation, and while you are right there, God says, stay, I'm working on you. Fear not, he says, I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. He says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Through the rivers, he said, it will not overwhelm you. Then he says, when you walk through fire, you don't run through fire, you walk. Because there are things that fire must roast. Pride, flesh, vainglory. Those are the seeds that you are carrying to go and sow. And God says, no. When you walk through, I can do it by myself. Let's go. When you see people starting out in life and they are arrogant, don't fight them. Just leave them. There is already a system. If it's God they are following, something in their life will work on it. One day you see the person after 5 years and he says, good afternoon, sir. I say, what happened? The refiner's fire. Maybe someone is in that season right now. You must interpret what you call answered prayer. There are many people God answered your prayer from the day you started crying. In fact, the tears was because the prayer was answered. And he said, stay there. There is something about the nature of man you need to learn. If you don't learn this, you cannot be a great leader. You are going to be birthing nations, but there is something, Naomi, I need something. There is something you need to know about the faithfulness of God. Otherwise, you will not appreciate the favor that comes from the farm of Boaz. God, give me Abraham. He's making you Sarah now. Why are you complaining? It is only Sarah that can marry Abraham. If it is Abraham you want to marry, then focus on being Sarah. And let me tell you, go and read about Sarah. It takes more than beauty to be Sarah. Is someone learning? I want to be David, right? Whoever sits on that throne and last must be David. So while you have claimed David, God is saying, let's go through the training of David. And you're saying, Lord, I don't want that. Just give me Melchizedek or the one, you know, somebody's training and magically make me David. No. Be careful what name you ask from the Bible. Because all the names have the requisite. The names are harvests. You know how you go to a store and you say, I like this, and forget the price tag. There are some things that are so expensive, it's a mockery to put price tags there. There are cars that you go, you don't even touch them. Have you seen that now? You are not allowed at all. You don't. In fact, they have to vet you to allow you get. They don't want to destroy the relationships they have with other people. So you can see it looking cheap. And he said, this is cheap, I can take on this. Put this in the basket. Put this in the basket. This little one, add it to. And then when they make the bill, it's more than your house rent. That's how life is. Listen, I'm wrapping up. Most of us love to claim realms and dimensions and harvests. God, mix Benny Hinn, Reinhard Bonnke, R.T.L. Osborne, and a little of Billy Graham. Excellent combo. And God says, let's go. After 1 month, you are casting God, binding God, and saying, no, this fasting is too, God does not work like this. Give your car, give your houses, carry everything and bring it. Say, no way, it's not my God. The one who died does not behave like that. And yet that's the harvest you want. I hope I'm not wasting your time. Lord, I want to carry the anointing and grace that brings healing to nations. It is available. I was told a story years ago. Maybe this will be the last story and then we'll pray. A gentleman, I think it's fiction, just to explain, to illustrate something, that this gentleman was frustrated and he said, Lord, serving you does not seem to pay. I'm tired of this thing. There are no rewards. You are blessing other people and other people are suffering. You know, the monkey they walk, baboon they chop thing. And then one time he was caught up in the realm of the spirit and I think he went to heaven or something like that. Then he entered a room that had crosses, many crosses representing the assignment, the mandate and the burden that men carried on earth. And then the Lord told him, okay, since you have complained and charged me unfaithful, pick whichever one that you want. He saw some giant crosses, he saw some, and then he saw one tiny one that looked like a necklace, and he ran quickly to pick it. And the Lord told him, but that's the one you always had. You are just picking the same thing that you had. And he said, this thing. So there are people carrying these other ones. Those are the ones you are envying on it. Behind every glory. No, there is not only a story. Behind every glory, there is a track record of seeds.